This episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. You know that one friend who always finds the best travel deals, picks the right cards, and somehow ends up in first class for the price of coach? How do they do that? Well, Smart Travel is like that friend, but in podcast form. They cover all things travel finance, like which travel cards earn their keep and which are just heavy, shiny metal, and planning group trips that won't ruin your budget or your friendships. So travel smarter and spend less. That's the key with help from NerdWallet. Follow Smart Travel wherever you get your podcasts. Armchair-Explorer is a part of the Voyescape podcast network. Check out all of their shows from around the world at voyescape.com. Hey guys, welcome to Armchair Explorer. My name's Aaron Millar. I'm a travel writer and your host. And today we've got one of our bucket list episodes. And if you haven't checked these out already, these are basically the shorter pieces that we do, usually focused on just one place or one experience that I think absolutely needs to be added to your no doubt very long already bucket list of adventures. This is definitely one of those, but a little disclaimer. The place I'm about to tell you about is the most ridiculously amazing place I have ever stayed. I got to go because I'm stupidly lucky and they actually let me crash there for free while I was writing an article about it, which some of this story is based on, by the way. But disclaimer, the place I'm about to tell you about is the most redonkulous place I've ever stayed. Unless Jeff Bezos is listening, and if you are, how about becoming a Patreon, mate? For a mere $100,000, you can get ad-free shows. But yeah, unless we do have a billionaire in the audience, this place is out of the range of almost everyone. It's not that fancy inside. It's just a tiny little place, really, with a few rooms. But it is in the most incredible location for a hotel you will ever see or hear about. It's absolutely amazing. And I think some of those bucket lists really should just be dreams. And sometimes it's nice just to dream about those incredible, incredible places. And that's why I wanted to share this story with you, because it's also one of the most incredible landscapes I've seen, and you can go and experience that. So Yosemite, Grand Canyon, I think this is right up there with that, but most people don't really even know it exists, and it's very hard to get to. But maybe you will, and maybe this will inspire you to get there. So I hope you're going to enjoy this bucket list story. And if you do, how about reviewing the show or telling a friend? We are a very small team here. There's actually only 3 of us. We're a tiny little indie production company, and the money that we get from sponsorship only covers about half of our costs to make this show. The rest comes from paid work we do for a bunch of clients. But this show, which is my pride and joy, and I love making, and I want to keep doing it forever, we fall short every year. So my goal this year is to grow it so that it becomes big enough to support itself. And in doing that, I hope we can keep doing this forever. But in order to do that, we need about 500 new listeners a month. It's actually not that much. If everyone listening to this told one person, we would absolutely smash that. So I don't expect you guys to do any work or anything like that. I don't expect you to give any money. Of course, if Jeff Bezos is listening, I would happily take a donation. But what I would love is, if you like this episode or you like this show, how about leaving a review or telling a friend or two about it? That can make a huge difference. So thank you for whatever you can do. But for now, here is a bucket list story about the most incredible place I've ever been. I am soaring over the tallest peaks in North America, untouched, unfathomable, and vast. Beneath me, the Alaskan winter glitters like diamonds in the frozen sun. I pass moose and coyote, the tracks of a wolverine, lonely and stoic, weaving through desolate wastes. Then I see it, the east face of Denali, the great one in native Athabascan. a 20,310-foot granite pyramid, the tallest mountain on the continent, rising to a jagged summit, swirling in ghosts of snow. That would have been enough. If that solitary 1-hour helicopter flight from Anchorage into the heart of Alaska's white wilderness had been all I'd come for, it would have been worth the trip. But this was just the ride in. I hadn't even gotten started. We bank over a high ridge, and suddenly Sheldon Chalet emerges from the mountains like a dream. Its setting so dramatic, I can't help but laugh out loud. 70 miles from any kind of civilization, in the middle of one of the wildest places on Earth, and then, as if by magic, there she is. A tiny glass and steel house, perched on a rocky outcrop above the Ruth Glacier, a 40-mile river of ice that flows down from the high country of Denali National Park. Surrounding it, on all sides, is the Don Sheldon Amphitheater, a near-perfect circle of jagged, snow-swept peaks, including the Great One itself. It looks like a dream, and for a long time that's exactly what it was. Don Sheldon, who the chalet and amphitheater are named after, was more than just a bush pilot. He was a true Alaskan legend. He arrived here in 1939 from the plains of Wyoming with nothing but a few dollars in his pocket and dreams of wild country in his eyes. He would go on to do a number of incredible things. He would pioneer glacier landings, which are a highly dangerous maneuver, and it would enable him to access remote mountain locations no other flyer dared. He helped survey the entire Alaskan range, including America's tallest peak. He was awarded the U.S. Air Force's Exceptional Service Award for saving the lives of dozens of stranded climbers, hunters, and mountaineers, often at great personal risk, and even survived an unbelievable Hollywood-style crash in which he plummeted nose first into a freezing lake, swam his unconscious co-pilot to the bank, covered him in moss to keep him warm, and then ran, injured, 50 miles through grizzly country in just 14 hours to get help and save his life. That's the kind of guy Don Sheldon was. And it was during one of his many crazy flights that he spotted this nunatak, or rocky outcrop, in the middle of the Ruth Glacier and laid claim to it under the Homesteading Act of 1898. And he built a small mountain hut there to serve as a base for his expeditions. People thought he was crazy. There's nothing to fish, hunt, or grow. But Don and his wife Roberta had a vision. People would come for the mountains. They would come for the emptiness and silence and the sparkling snow drifting across the high peaks. And he would fly them there. That was 1966, and sadly Don, who passed away in 1975, never saw his dream fully realized until now. Built by Don's grown-up children, Robert and Kate, and their families as a way to honor and fulfill their parents' original vision, if you want pampering and lovely food in one of the most wildest and remote places on Earth, it simply doesn't get any better than the Sheldon Chalet. People come to Alaska for grizzlies and cruises and adventures of all kind, but almost no one knows this place, the Don Sheldon Amphitheater, even exists. For me, it was like stumbling upon the Grand Canyon by accident and then having it all to myself. I spent most of my time on the outdoor observation deck, just spinning around, trying and failing to take it all in. On the first morning, we hiked down from the Nunatak and onto the glacier, strapped on some trekking skis, roped together for safety, and headed into the icy wilderness, sunlight refracting the snow in prisms of rainbows all around. But walking on the surface of a glacier is one thing. Going inside is something else altogether. Glaciers are dangerous. Beneath where we stood lay more than 1,000 feet of honeycombed ice and chasms and crevasses dropping down to unimaginable depths. Most are unstable, but a handful are solid enough to peer into. We took our skis off, tied into fixed lines, and crawled inside a dark hole barely big enough to fit one person at a time. And down we went, deeper into the cave, slipping on the ice until we reached an enormous cavern, the size of a double-decker bus. Light shined through gaps above and illuminated the world around us in turquoise, indigo, and pale blue. I'd never seen color like it. Crystals hung from the ceiling and sprouted from the walls. It was like discovering a hidden world, a palace of pure blue ice buried beneath the snow. But the mountains and the ice are only half the reason you come. The ingredients for good northern lights are high altitude, dark skies, and thin mountain air. Sheldon Chalet has all three in abundance. Come September to March on a clear night, and there is perhaps nowhere more spectacular to watch them. But we had to be patient. Up here, they rate the chance of a display on a 1 to 10 scale. Our first night was a 10. We stayed up late into the dark, the Milky Way like silver clouds, a soft glow on the horizon, but nothing. The next night was a 2. I expected the same, climbed up to the back of the Nunatak, content to just stargaze. But then, everything changed. A green haze rose over the mountains, and then suddenly, as if hit by a wind, it moved, rippling across the sky like waves, bands shooting from behind the peaks, pulsing and glimmering like giants' fires, filling the entire sky. Throughout human history, the aurora has imbued every culture it's touched with something of the divine, whether demons or gods or spirits of ancestors long gone. Standing there, alone with the lights, I understood why. There was something strange, even unnerving about that first glimpse, as if nature should not or could not move that way. They seemed alive, supernatural, to move with sentience like an animal prowling the night sky. It is said that in the face of great wonder, what we are actually experiencing is a dissolution of the self. Our minds momentarily shuts down, unable to process the enormity of what it is seeing, and for just a second, we experience the world as it really is, unfiltered through the veil of our ego. That's what I felt, not just that night, but from the moment I arrived. It's reverence, Robert said. The man who built it, Don Sheldon's son. But it's more than that too. Wonder humbles all, and in the end, that's enough. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I hope that whet your appetite, not just for incredible places to stay, but Alaska in general. It's an incredible place, and I highly recommend it, and I can't wait to go back. Denali National Park is on my bucket list. I was kind of in the wildest, craziest part of it, but I don't feel like I've even touched the surface. I can't wait to get back. So I hope this episode inspired you to check it out and also to dream of some of the amazing places you might sleep one day. And if you enjoyed it, just remember that shout out as well. If you can tell a friend, if you can leave a review, if you can do anything like that, it really does make a huge difference. My goal this year is to get 500 new followers every month. My goal is to make sure that this show becomes sustainable so we can just keep doing it forever, because I absolutely love it. So if you tell a friend, that's how it happens. That's how we spread this community. So thank you so much for everything you can do. And follow me on social too, at armchair-explorer podcast. I'd love to hear the coolest, best places that you've stayed. I'd love to hear any Alaskan adventures or anything at all. Just drop me a line. It would be great to hang out. So for now, that's all we've got time for. But remember, the more that you look for wonder in the world, the more the wonder of the world becomes a part of who you are. Dare to be truly alive. This show was produced by Armchair Productions, the audio experts for the travel industry. My name's Aaron Miller. I write and present the show, and Charles Tyree does the audio editing and sound design. You can find our other shows at armchair-productions.com.
Quick question. Do you want travel tips from people who have actually been there?
Our show is co-hosted by Tim Johnson, an award-winning travel journalist who's been to more than 145 countries around the world. And I'm David Brody, the other co-host who's been travel podcasting for 20 years while traveling to 50-plus countries around the world.
In about 10 or 20 minutes per show, we break down a destination with the kind of insight you usually only get from long guidebooks or hours of research.
So if you want expert advice, zero fluff, and travel inspiration that you can actually use, search for Travel in 10 wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can also find us at voyescape.com.
Hi, I'm Pauline Fromer, host of the Fromer's Travel Podcast. We post new episodes weekly, detailing the kinds of money-saving tips and cultural insights that will make your trips richer without making you significantly poorer. We do so by interviewing real travel experts like TV host Samantha Brown, Fromer's authors from around the globe, and such public figures as Free Solo's Alex Honnold. It's a fun travel party. I hope you can join us.